Good morning, everyone, and welcome in to Corsace Closed. It is once more the round of 16 with hopefully many matches that are definitely going to happen today. We got four of them lined up for you on a wonderful Sunday. Starting off with Enri versus Chicony, our Seed 7 versus Seed 10 matchup in the round of 16, and one of the closest matchups we have on paper in this round. I'm Dio this morning, and I am joined by the one, the only, half-slashed, also known as Miles. Good morning, Miles.
Good morning, Dio. Definitely worth waking up for this matchup. Enri and Chicony, two of the strongest tourney players we've seen in the last year, and I'm really excited to see how they play in this matchup on this pool. Starting off on a very hard difficulty, already up at 7.68 stars. I don't remember. I'm the pooler. Looks like around 7.6 stars on this pool. Gonna be pretty much in these players' wheelhouses, both very high skill cap players. Gonna be really excited to see how they manage this map pool. You can look at the stats on your screen right now. You can see Chicony with a very high stamina stat when compared to Enri. Maybe gonna consider picking some of those DTs. Meanwhile, Enri higher on the reading, probably going to go for some of those Nomad 6 hidden 2s as well.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the qualifier scores for both of these players, I think is pretty reflective of their overall strengths and weaknesses as tournament players. Enri, very, very good on the tech, very, very good on both hiddens. In fact, top scoring the low AR hidden map in qualifiers. Chicony, not quite as good on tech, not quite as good on hidden. Ever so slightly better on precision in the hard rock pool, and number one on the DT1 with also a very good score on the double time 2. So definitely expecting bans to be placed accordingly from Enri and Chicony, whether those go to the tech maps or reading maps from Chicony, and whether they go to the DT maps or maybe to some of those hard rocks if Enri is feeling a little bit shakier on some of those precision picks this evening for him. We'll just have to see where they want to place them, but definitely should be a very close matchup overall. And aside from those areas of interest that we talked about, the tech maps, the reading maps, the precision maps, and the DT maps, there's not a lot of differences in the scores that these players put up in qualifiers. So you're expecting relatively close scores on pretty much everything else. And even then, on stuff like some of the DT maps, you could really expect Enri and Chicony to be relatively evenly matched. Enri, a speed farmer in solo, so no slouch when it comes to those. It just depends, I think, on the day how he's able to perform. And already starting us off, two very predictable bans, the Hard Rock 2 and Nomad 6 bans, and a Hard Rock 3 ban also coming off from Enri, so choosing to leave open all of the double time maps, all of the speed maps in the pool.
I think that's absolutely fair. I think on a more typical pool, on a lower star rating, I might consider Enri to be a little bit more well-rounded than Chicony. But where we really saw the big performance from Chicony that probably slapped him on the map for tourney play was in CPMC, which had ridiculously hard map pools. And I feel like on pools like this in Corsace Closed, we're going to be able to expect more of a high performance from Chicony because it's going to be more on that high skill cap that he really enjoys. And as you said, these bans coming out, 2 HR bans from Enri, Nomad 6 and HE2 from Chicony, both very expected. However, all 3 DTs still up. But as you said, Enri also very strong on that. Going to be probably something that Chicony might be a little bit wary to pick into Enri.
I think even if you are a little bit wary of picking some of these speed maps into Enri, you really have to go for them anyway. They are your power picks if you are Chicony in this matchup, and I think to avoid them would be a mistake. So really hoping that we see one of those DT maps or speed maps come out. The Nomad 5 on this pool, relatively easy, though I don't know that that's a power pick for either of these players. I think both of them are going to see very, very good scores on that map, so I think avoiding that one is relatively good. But the DT2, the DT1, the DT3, I think are all very good picks for Chicony in this matchup, and would love to see one of those come out. We'll see what he ends up going with. He is running a little bit out of time on this pick. If it's not one of the double time maps, I'm expecting, okay, there's the Nomad 5 actually, so the reason I said this is a little bit maybe of a map to be avoided is because the first half of this map is relatively easy in comparison to the second half, and both players are really expected to combo through the entire first half. We also saw Crystal full combo the first half of this map against Emrek, so it's not as if you need to be a particularly strong speed player. Obviously, Crystal a very good player, but not a speed player. And so you don't need to be a ridiculously good speed player to combo the first half of this map. And I think both of these players are going to find it relatively simple. And it's going to come down either to accuracy or to who can combo farther into the second half of the map, as now we get into the first bit of No Mod 5.
Yeah, as you were saying, in contrast to the beginning being slightly easier than the ending of the map, I would say just the ending is absolutely brutal, and that either of these players could find some breaks on the ending. But the beginning of this map shouldn't be an issue for either of these players. As you can see in the beginning, neither of them dropping combos so far, but Chicony surprisingly dropping some accuracy at the beginning, down at 95 out of the first quarter. But I'm going to be expecting him to bring it up into the next half of this map.
Yeah, early jitters, early act drops, probably not going to matter too much here, unless we see both of these players combo all over the way into the back half, and even then, you're far more likely to drop accuracy when you start getting many consecutive bursts in the second half of this map. And there's the first half done now. Both players still holding onto the FC as expected. And now it just all comes down to who can hold longer, who can hold their accuracy, and whether we see the full combos come through or not from these players. We've had quite a lot of very good scores on this map already. Looking forward to a couple more from enri and Chicony right now. A little bit of an act lead for enri, up 2% at the moment over Chicony due to the early act drops from Chicony on this one. Neither of these players having too much trouble with any of the bursts in this section, though. Both holding very good act throughout this back half. Only 100 dropped, I think, from either of these players. But there's a miss on the jumps from enri, and it immediately throws the act lead out the window. Chicony is going to win after a miss on one jump from enri. That's the entire deciding factor on this map, and Chicony just a tad bit more consistent, it seems, on some of the jump patterns in this map, and that's all she wrote. It's all that matters on this one. And that just goes to show exactly how close these players really can be on some of these speed maps where, you know, it doesn't matter really about how well either of them handled the ending, because they were both good enough to FC this map, but enri just found an unlucky miss on one of the jump patterns.
Yeah, but Chicony converting the FC on his first pick, despite the accuracy troubles, he would have lost the pick if enri did not miss. But nevertheless, he did get the point, and now enri's going to be able to respond with his own pick. As you mentioned earlier, a lot of the tech picks still remaining. There's still a hidden 3 up. There's still, actually, no, there's not a hidden 3 up, but there is a No Mod 4 up. Oh, wait, there is a hidden 3 up. He's going to be picking it. It's too early. Yeah, this map, very much a flow aim tech pick. There's a lot of difficult streams in this map, and I think that's really where the point of emphasis is going to be on this. Something I definitely think Chicony will, or not Chicony, enri will have the edge on this map, I believe.
Yeah, this is a lot of flow aim. There's also a lot of really high slider velocity sliders in this map as well. So it's not super simple stuff, even outside of the flow aim section. You really do have to be very good at just hidden flow aim, hidden streams, and a lot of high velocity slider stuff. So I really like to pick enri. Combines the hidden and tech elements that he had an edge over Chicony on in the qualifiers. So I think a very good pick.
Looks like we're going to be getting into it really quick here. Hidden 3 first pick from enri in this round of 16 matchup against Chicony. Custom map by Weowich Avant-Garde. We can already see the act drops from Chicony on the beginning of this map. Definitely something less so in his skill set than in enri's, and he's already going to be finding a slider break right out of the beginning. But enri's going to be finding a break as well. Both players finding struggles in the beginning of this map.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The sections outside of the streams are also very hard in this map. It's not easy to combo through some of these sections. Both of them finding those early breaks, but Chicony's going to be the one continuing those early breaks into this section, not looking super comfortable with keeping the combo together. The accuracy is not all that bad, and enri is finding misses as well, but Chicony just not able to hold together the combo to the same degree as enri, finding more and more slider breaks here and there all throughout this section. And I mean, you can't blame the guy. Look at the map, man. It's 200 BPM aim control, almost alt-style streams in parts of this map. Even enri now dropping tons of misses, actually finding lots of chain misses, and Chicony able to hold through a lot of that section, but not able to do so through the slider aim here, and that's going to keep things on enri's side for now. Halfway through, about a 40,000 score lead for enri and a 2% hack lead to go along with it.
And I think that hack lead is going to be really huge because we know when two players are struggling to hold on to combo, the accuracy lead, despite only being 30% of your score in Score V2, it's going to make up a lot more of it. As you can see, 2% hack lead, barely any combo, except now enri holding up above around 300 combo. Gonna be able to extend his lead, but he does find a drop on this build-up section. Into the streams we go. We're gonna see if Chicony can hold on here and maybe take this back. He's running out of time.
This map's just so tricky, man. enri's one of the best hidden players in the tournament and is still hovering right around 300k right now, finding misses alongside Chicony. And I mean, this map is far gone from comeback potential at this point with those earlier misses from Chicony. It's just not going to happen. And now it's just about how high of a score can enri accumulate here. I think this is the first time we've seen this map played this weekend as well, and for the opening winning score on this to be 350k or so, it really goes to show just how difficult this pick is. It is so tricky to get good scores on this. Now, at the end of it all, actually a 120,000 score lead for enri, 1.5 times the score of Chicony. Like you said, that accolade doing wonders for him in holding together a lead and just more consistent all throughout the map, holding on to that combo, 100 higher max combo, and way more consistent small combos all throughout.
But now the pick does go back to Chicony. And as you mentioned earlier, I think in this matchup, despite enri also being a very competent DT player, he does definitely have to go for them at some point. And I feel like he might just decide to go for one of them here. I think maybe a DT1 might be coming out from Chicony soon. And there it is. This is another custom map. Mapped by Adappear. Don't let the card confuse you. This is not the AR8 difficulty. I believe this is AR 10.3.
It is. Yeah, AR 10.3, and obviously mostly aim, but there's a couple of interesting patterns in this map focused around the sorts of like slider overlaps, I guess, is how I'm gonna describe this. It's really just all kind of slider overlappy stuff. It's very it's not super difficult, but if you're not ready for them, or if you're struggling on reading in general, the slight overlapping patterns in this map and back and forth can catch you off guard. It's not all just stock standard stuff.
Yeah, definitely a less conventional form of aim Adappear likes to map. But it's still gonna quench your thirst for a nice DT aim map, as we can see. Both players gonna be very comfortable out of the start. Both high accuracy, 99 and 98 for the two players. We're going to be waiting to see who breaks first, if either of these players manage to break on this map.
Accuracy from enri is really good right now, 99.5 going to the first PI time. Chicony once again struggling in the act department compared to enri, down at 97.5 right now. Not improving, but there goes the combo for enri, so all the act leads vanishing at this point in relevance, and Chicony holding on to the FC, 97% act, be damned, my boy can hold a combo. He's still going. as long as he holds the combo, he's fine here. And actually, the act lead's completely gone now too. It's 96.4 for enri at the moment. And well, every part of the lead enri had is gone. So Chicony now fully in the driver's seat, still holding on to the FC, and he's gonna see it at that break as well. He knows he's holding control of this map. Should not have any major nerves going into the rest of it because you've already got a major advantage.
And enri also actually smoking high AR during that break, so maybe being a little less comfortable on the 10.3 right now might be prompting Chicony to pick that DT3 next, you know, but Because we have the DT modifiers on, Chicony's lead is just going to be exploding into the second half of this map. He has already just about doubled Enri's score, but he does end up finding the break. Although I think it's way too late for Enri to try to stage a comeback, especially without any combo to back up on. However, this slower section will allow the players to build back up once more.
Yeah, honestly, even if Enri had a relatively large combo, I don't think it would matter too much right now because the lead for Chicony is so massive. And even then, obviously Enri not comfortable with the approach rate, not comfortable with reading this map, and is having considerable trouble on it because of that. It's going to be about double score by the end of this for Chicony. Not quite double, but close enough. 300,000 score lead and climbing for Chicony by the end of this map. And yeah, that's the kind of dominance you want to see on these picks. A much better pick for Chicony than the No Mod 5 ended up being, where it was very, very close. And really, Chicony only won because Enri had the one unfortunate miss on the jump section. This map, much more convincing of a win from Chicony.
Getting the S rank, I believe, with a few slider breaks because of the 50s. But still, 735k from Chicony up against the 404k from Enri is going to be enough to get him a very solid win. Going up 2-1 in this matchup, but now Enri has the chance to respond. Still with one hidden remaining, the hidden one. I think that is something that he might consider. But I feel like I hear No Mod 4. Is that a No Mod 4?
We definitely hear No Mod 4. Oh,
that's a No Mod 4.
Yeah.
Plus Ultra Cloud 9, another custom map by Loki Doki.
Tell us about the custom, Miles. Tell us about your custom map.
Alright, let me tell you about this custom. So you've got the difficult streams, you got the long, fast sliders, you got osutechnologybeatmap.com right here, folks. Something that Enri probably very much after that very definitive No Mod or Hidden 3 win decided, yep, I'm gonna be going for that No Mod 4 custom Loki Doki plus Ultra Cloud 9 osutechnologybeatmap.com. Yeah. Alright, here we go.
Yeah, I think this is a very good pick. Chicony was number 16 on the tech map qualifiers. Not a particularly strong tech player. Very, very good in lots of the mechanics, and very, very good on light tech maps, especially in hard rock. But not somebody who's really good at the full slot tech maps like you see in No Mod 4 in tournaments. So Enri should have a considerable advantage on this map. Usually a really strong tech player as well.
Here we have these very difficult back and forths that are probably the main emphasis of difficulty on this map. The streams, they just become so difficult at certain sections of this map. I believe we saw Crystal get a really insane score on this yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Crystal's score on this was actually nuts. I think he got over 600k.
800k, I think, actually.
800k? Okay, yeah. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Okay, he got 878k. He missed the beginning and then it reverse choked it. Like, I don't know, the guy's crazy. That score was wild. I was commentating that match. I forgot the score. That score did go crazy, though. Unfortunately, neither of these players are going to be replicating that one. It's pretty even at the moment. 170k to 150k. Enri over Chicony at the moment. 3% ACK lead for Enri. Combos pretty much dead even as well. Neither of that. Oh, no. Miss at the end of the slider stream for Chicony. The back and forth stream does catch Enri off, so the combos will be reset. But the ACK lead is just doing so much work right now. You can see the score lead still climbing 70k now in favor of Enri. 96 to 92% accuracy. And with more frequent breaks for Chicony as well, that score lead is just going to keep going up near the end of the map. Not a score that is super strong from Enri on this map. Going to be just under 400k or just at 400k by the end of this one. But definitely still solid and will take the win over Chicony with that one, about 100k score lead on this map.
You know, you got to do what you got to do to get the win, and Enri did what he had to do, winning this pick by about 100,000 score.
I think not a score that Enri is going to be particularly proud of, but it does the job, and that's all you can ask for in tournament. You don't need to full combo every map. You just need to beat your opponent, and that is exactly what that score does. So, solid stuff. And to be fair, I think Crystal's score is more of an anomaly than anything else. Emrek got 470k. Malashevsky got 460k. So it's not like 400k flat is particularly bad. I think Crystal's just a god. So yeah.
Yeah. And then you expect that from Crystal. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Chicony gonna be pivoting to the Hard Rock pool, picking the remaining Hard Rock 1. After the ban phase, the only HR remaining to be picked. We'll be picking another custom. We've got Pure Scary, mapped by Mimilia. And this map is it's your evolution of the HR aim slot in becoming more of a tech aim slot. A lot of people are telling me to call it light tech. I like to call it mech tech because it rolls off the tongue better. But this map's got a lot of difficult aim. I think a lot of it comes from the difficult kick slider jumps in this map. Also, the tick rate too. You have to follow these sliders or else you will slider break.
I feel like when I was looking at this map in the editor during match prep, I felt like this is just a mini tiebreaker, right? Like this is just tons of different stuff all on the same map. It's light tech. It's a little bit of AM. It's a little bit of streams. It's a little bit of alt in sections as well. I feel like this is just the mini tiebreaker in Hard Rock. And when you have maps like this in a mod pool, I feel like what it does is just force players to be very strong and comfortable on that mod. Because if you're not good at Hard Rock, how are you going to take advantage of being an all-rounder at all? Both players, by the way, missing on the exact same 5-note space burn. So, complete combo reset, pretty much the same accuracy, slight lead for Chicony, about 100 combo after the first miss for both of these players. Yeah, there you go, more of the tech section, comboed with the aim, comboed with some of the bursts. This is just how this map goes. And there's actually a slider break on one of the other bursts for Enri, having a little bit of trouble, it seems, with transitioning in and out of some of the higher intensity burst patterns in this map.
And Chicony's going to be holding on into a slightly calmer section here, up at around 340 combo. Going to be able to extend his lead a little bit more, but with some accuracy drops, it's not going to be as quickly as he would want it to be. He's still got a lot of work to do in order to secure this pick because Enri has reestablished his combo up at 270. Here's just some more kick sliders for you. Gonna be Chicony still extending, but we are about to get into the next PI section, which is gonna be probably where we might expect to see one of them break.
No crazy misses from either player here, but oh, there goes Enri right as we get into the next hard part, and I feel like that pretty much settles this map. It's 800 combo to 70 for Chicony. There goes Chicony's combo, but the score lead is already 70k for him, and with 0 combo on either player, there's not really much potential for a comeback from Enri on this map, and both players continuing to find misses here in the last quarter is going to mean that these scores stay put. Pretty much where they are, 70k lead, 80k lead now for Chicony actually, with the act drops and slight combo lead that he's had throughout the last couple of miss sections for both players. So again, a solid point for Chicony. I don't think, again, not as dominant of a point as maybe he would have liked, similar to the No Mod 4 pick from Enri, but he will be able to take this point, and in relatively convincing fashion. He never really had a section of this map where there was a question about who was in the lead. Always felt like Chicony had control of this pick from the very start. Enri was always just that little bit more, just struggling a little bit more on this map pretty much all throughout. So looked very good for Chicony throughout the pick.
Yeah, you know, and that's what you do against someone who bans out 2 hard rocks. You pick something like this against them. And Enri, though, putting up a good fight, only down just over 80k on this. And he's going to be able to pick to try and equalize once again. We're going to be waiting for that elusive break point in this matchup between these 2 players. And I think these players are going to start to be running a little bit low on picks soon. Chicony, I think, still has got 2 double times left. But for Enri, might be asking a few questions here on what to pick.
If I'm remembering, I'm looking at the hidden pool, and that hidden one looks pretty enticing. You maybe save that for later, but nope, gonna just pick it right now There's always the question, I think, in player pick strategy of, do I just pick my strong maps right from the start, or do I save one of them for last pick so that if push comes to shove, I have a map that I can guaranteed win on as my last pick. I think in matches where you have a kind of an advantage, it feels good to save something for last pick just in case you need that little extra push. But in matches like this, where it is seed 7 versus seed 10, you've expected to be close. I like just putting all your cards out on the table, right? This is not a matchup for either of these players where they can afford to hold back their best picks. They have to keep putting out strong picks one after the other in order to continue taking points. And as this match stands 2-3 in favor of Chicony, if you go down a breakpoint as enri, you're very likely to be taken to match point. So putting up a strong pick on the hidden one once again, I think is the right call for him on this map. Miles, what's up with this map? What's going on? This is not your typical hidden one.
Yeah, this is Hollow Wings, and you can kind of tell what player you're getting, whether you think the beginning is the harder part or the ending is the harder part. Because the beginning, although it stays similar in that you can kind of call this more of an alt aim control map, the ending is a lot more raw aim heavy and the beginning is a lot more aim control heavy. So it really depends on which player you're asking on which section's more difficult, but it ends up as this really great package of a map for you to play where you have these distinct sections. Here you can already see getting into some of these lower space patterns will be an indicator of what's to come later on in the map. Some wide angled alt patterns. Neither player going to be finding breaks on them. They're pretty low spacing, all things considered. Be surprised to see any breaks on them, but we already get into the more aim control section here. See these wiggles.
I mean, it's so difficult to combo this map, actually. I mean, the way this map just transitions between super heavy snap aim and really high spacing flow aim, it basically is an alt hidden aim pick, right? I mean, this is ridiculously difficult for so many players for obvious reasons. These aim patterns are not easy by any means. I'm frankly surprised both of these players are still full comboing. This is actually wild. The fact that both of them can still hold on to the full combo after that whole intro section. Because the best hidden score on the leaderboard for this map is only like 700 max combo. So if they both make it through this section, this is 2 incredible plays on the map. And already, I mean, they are challenging for best hidden scores on this map with how it's going. Chicony with an act disadvantage, but the fact that he's still holding combo is really something else. I mean, this is a very, very good score from both of these players, and if either of them find any misses at this point, it pretty much just automatically goes over to the other. We've entered the territory where a single miss costs you the entire map at this point, and there's not really a question about it anymore.
Yeah, I'd like to point out that enri is single tapping this. He's been single tapping the entire time. And we've already gone through the beginning section. We are about to see if these players do believe that the ending section is harder. We were split about this in the test player lobbies. I said that the ending was harder. A few other people thought the beginning was harder. We're about to be going into that.
Yeah,
the sliders get really long in this section as well. And as you can see, here they come already. Definitely a lot more flow aim focus with these bigger sliders here, and the patterns are a little bit more straight edge compared to the beginning. But still, both of these players are holding on to FC. What is going on, Theo?
Dude, actually, what is this? They both have already beaten MREC's score on this map. MREC's score is 670k, max combo was 862, but there's a slider break from Chicony! No! And so close to getting one of the best scores on the map this weekend. It's already probably going to be the second best score on the map this weekend so far, because enri is just demolishing this pick. What is he doing right now, man? This map doesn't even have any hidden full combos on it, and he's still holding on through the ending.
No way.
Still going. This section is disgustingly hard. The mechanics required in this part shoot way up, and no, he finally drops on a couple of the snap aim patterns, but that is far and away the best hidden score on this map, period, full stop. Ridiculously good score from enri. There are only 2 full combos on this map at all. 2 no mod full combos on this map, and enri just put up what is that, 1250 combo or so? I think that's number 4 on the leaderboard or so, somewhere around there. If Score V1, let's see the max combo exactly. I can get a better idea. Yeah, number 4 on the leaderboard. If Score V1, maybe even number 3. He has 98.6 AC. Number 3 on the leaderboard is 96 AC with 1280 combo. So the accuracy might have just been enough to push him up to number 3. So either number 3 or 4 on the leaderboard. And the only modded play in the top 5 of this map, there is a Hard Rock play at number 10, but wow, just actually ridiculous score from Enri on this pick. And not quite enough gas at the end of the map for Chicony to beat out Emrek's score from earlier in the weekend, but still a very, very strong score from him with an incredibly good max combo. Very, very well played from both of these players.
Yeah, I think for Chicony, that might have been a break point against almost any other player here. As you said, both of them beating Emrek. Definitely not something I would expect Chicony to beat Emrek on. But against that Enri score, that is just unreal. But it's something that you kind of have to just brush off, say go next if you're Chicony. It's like, okay, he can perform extremely well on that map. That was expected. I'm going to go for my bread and butter here. I'm going to pick this DT2, which he does. We've got another custom, Emerald Alice, mapped by Nanoya. A lot of you are probably familiar with Nanoya as a player. I think he's in the top 50 global, actually. Now I'm going to be mapping a custom for us. This is our DT2. This is Stamina. And I don't think there's much else you could really say about it. It's your DT2. It's your classic stream Stamina pick. You can already see the burst coming in at the beginning here.
One thing to note with this map, it's OD 10.4. You don't usually see really high OD on DT2 maps like this that are only AR10, right? It's also 250 BPM, which is relatively high for a stamina map. I think a lot of this focuses in a little bit more on burst because of that than usual, but it works out really well because you already have lots and lots of longer streams in this map anyway. And you can see already the toll that it is taking on these players, both at 96 AC, already a set of misses for Enri during the stamina-heavy section, as in this first TI. There's just zero room to slow down at all. If you're not completely on top of the speed, you're going to be left behind, and neither of these players really all that far left behind at the moment. Just the one set of breaks for Enri. Pretty much the same accuracy and an FC for Chicony at the moment.
Yeah, Chicony has looked so strong at comboing these speedier maps. I feel like we've seen this kind of similar script play out on all of Chicony's picks, where Enri will actually come out with an accuracy lead in the beginning, but just by virtue of combo gaming, Chicony will end up with the lead by the end of the map. And he's already doing that right now with his combo no longer being there, and Enri actually with a very large combo reestablished at 460, he's going to be able to reel in the lead, and that might just be a disaster for Chicony if Enri manages to hold on even longer.
Score lead is vanishing very quickly. It's down to less than 40,000. No, there goes the combo for Enri as well, and Chicony now back in control of this map. Does drop a lot of accuracy on that sequence of streams, but not going to matter as another slider break comes through for Enri during the slower section, and Chicony, and now once again just in full control. Accuracy not going to matter all that much at this point. 95 AC be damned. If he can stream, and that's what he's doing in this map, is holding on during the stream sections where it matters the most. Holding on to what is now an 80,000 plus score lead in his favor, and with just a sliver of map left, I don't think that's going anywhere.
Yeah, definitely not enough time for Enri to come back on this pick. Now lead extending up above 100k. Chicony's going to end up with a quite solid 650-ish K on this by the end of it. And that's going to be enough to beat out Enri and get his 4th point on the board. Still perfect with picks in this matchup are these players. Chicony going to be taking his 4th map now, going up 4-3.
All right, so this is the part of the match where I think things get really interesting. As we have 2 picks left for Enri, 2 picks left for Enri, and 1 pick left for Chicony. I think Chicony's next pick is obvious, going to be the double time 3. If he's not picking the double time 3, I think something is deeply upsetting about that. As for the rest of the pool, we have Nomad 1, 2, and 3 left, and we have DT3. that's it. So there's very little choices remaining for Enri here. There's not any sort of really tricky maps left in the pool outside of that No Mod 3. So one of the No Mod 1 and No Mod 2 is going to have to be a pick for Enri. I'm really interested to see which one of those he's going to want to go with. I think No Mod 3 is definitely going to be a pick here. And I feel like that's probably the next pick for Enri in this matchup is the No Mod 3. And there it is, Dishonor coming through. Originally a custom for the Corsace Open in 2020. The map was so good, they put it in OWC the same year. This map, it actually goes crazy. One of the most iconic tournament alt maps in the game.
Yeah, and it's been used many times. And Dio, I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I feel like Chicony might actually pick this No Mod 1. Call me crazy here.
Really? Okay.
It's something that I remember him winning a lot back in CPMC. Him on the aim maps when you get to the really high star rating is something that Chicony tended to use as more of a flex option against a lot of opponents. And, you know, Enri's aim has been looking a little bit shaky at different points in this match. I think a lot of the time on that DT1 and the HR1. But the No Mod 1 in this is definitely a different beast, definitely a more conventional aim map in comparison to those two.
Yeah,
but still,
Chicony is definitely a very good aim player. So yeah, agreed. I could see him picking the No Mod 1 here as well, and it working out just fine. I always say the DT3 because it is AR 10.3 reading, and so you know, definitely has that advantage as well.
Definitely what I would expect Chicony to pick is that DT3, but still probably an option for him. We're gonna have to see after this map. Now it is, I would say, do or die territory for Enri. Has to win this No Mod 3, keep up the equality, equalize at 4-4. And this map holds no punches right out of the beginning. You can already see the aim so difficult. A lot of difficult aim control on this map through the alt patterns. And you already see Chicony dropping all the way down to 86%, along with his combo as well.
Yeah, you're really not joking when you say this map pulls no punches, right? I mean, the intro is just already as hard as the rest of the map. So if you're not immediately ready to go with this map, it's going to punish you. And unfortunately, Enri may be a little bit of trouble letting the guard down later on in the map. I'm missing the top right and I'm missing the bottom right as well now. Set of chain misses for Enri here as Chicony continues to hold combo during this middle section. Misses at the beginning do not count as much as misses in the middle of the map. That's just how score works, but luckily for Enri, Chicony is going to find a set of his own misses on one of those following patterns, and the cuts in this map also being really, really difficult, but it puts the players at about pretty much even ground. 96 act to 94 in favor of Enri, but the score lead is less than 10,000 points, and the combos are exactly equal. It all comes down to who can hold better in the last third of the map as we get into it. Neither of them... Oh, no! Enri actually misreading on the stop and go pattern. The pause there, catching him off, and Chicony now able to take the first break point. If he can hold on and build a little bit more of a lead, this will be insurmountable for Enri, and no comeback, I think, would be possible if he extended it a little further. A lot of chain misses for Chicony here near the end, but with 30k score lead in his favor and the very last slider coming out, that is going to be our first break point. It is 5-3 in favor of Chicony. And we may just have an upset on our hands, Miles, as the lower seeded player now goes up 5 points, match point in this matchup.
Despite the 2.5 accuracy discrepancy between Enri and Chicony, the combo from Chicony in the ending, comboing through the ending section mostly, is going to be enough for him to take the point just barely. And now for Chicony, I think we both know probably what's going to come out. I think you were right about that DT3. It's probably going to come out very quickly here. Chicony now with a chance to finish the match on his own pick in a very dominant position now. We're going to see if he manages to convert here.
Yeah, I have to imagine after winning the No Mod 3, you have to feel so much more confident picking into the DT alt map as well. And the fact that it is high AR is just another compounding factor on that one, right? Only 202 BPM here, but the spacing on these patterns mimics that of alt maps. It's a essentially lower star rating alt map rated up with double time AR 10.3. That is the entirety of this map, and a very solid custom provided by Okaratu for this tournament.
Always love to see Oko doing customs. Very, very classic mapper. And yeah, you pretty much summed it up very well. This is going to be your low star alt map, put on double time at AR 10.3, and you can already see it. There's another map that holds no punches going into the beginning. You have to be really ready for the beginning of this map, and it looks like Chicony is going to be caught out very early by this. Enri, however, looking very comfortable as well out of the beginning, 98.6%. But Chicony, I think for one of the first times in this match, not holding an accolade out of the beginning. Okay, you just had to get a few hundreds and ruin my thing there. Okay.
Unlucky.
Happens.
I'm really hoping for Enri's sake that he is gamma gaming on this map, right? Like, this map is something that Enri, in terms of the skill sets required to actually play the patterns, definitely has, but the reading is the major limiting factor, I feel like, on a map like this for him. Both players now holding onto their combos within the first ki time. Neither of them struggling all that much on the accuracy as well, but there's a slider break for Enri, and it all comes crashing down once again. Chicony with the combo lead going into the second half of the map here. We're not quite at that halfway point yet, but about a third of the way through, with combo and act lead now for Chicony, and unfortunately Enri just not able to hold on when it mattered at the end of that first ki time. Those misses in the middle costing him dearly once again.
That first slider break from Enri just looks so tragic, dude. It didn't look like it was on too much. Just a slider right before the end of the ki. But Chicony no longer going to be holding on to his combo, just getting that big combo up to about 800 before breaking it at exactly the halfway point. Gonna leave Enri with a little bit of breathing room here. Accuracy still within striking distance. If Enri is able to hold for the whole second half of this map, he still has a chance to bring it back, but it require a meltdown from Chicony, and we just haven't seen that come from him on a DT pick, I think, ever in the last year. One of the most reliable DT players in the game.
And the problem is that Enri can't hold a really huge combo either. There's lots of small misses and breaks coming through sort of all over the place for Enri on this map. So even if we do see multiple misses come through for Chicony, it's not certain that Enri's even going to be able to take this one. A quarter of the map left and a 70,000 score lead for Chicony.
Yeah, definitely one of those moments where you say would require a meltdown, would barring a disconnect, what people used to say, but
yeah.
It's looking a little bit late here for Enri, despite the big combo coming up. Chicony has got the combo to match it, and it looks like it might. Honestly, it's getting down to the wire. It's only within 50k. If Chicony were to break, and he does, Enri now with an opportunity here to steal it back. Going into the very ending, it is going down so quickly. It's only 30k, 20k. Let's see, is he going to be able to do it? He has to hold all the way into the ending. It is under 10k, but it is not going to be enough. 5,000 score in favor of Chicony. It's going to be a GG well played upset win for Chicony, going 6-3. Wow.
What a match, honestly. What a match. I mean, really, really good play from both of these players, but just that much better from Chicony in the last couple of maps. Those last two picks really making the difference, and that is why in a matchup like this, you put all of your best picks first, because a single breakpoint end of the match decided everything. That breakpoint on the Nomad 3 entirely giving this win over to Chicony. If he did not win that pick, it could have potentially gone to tiebreaker. We probably see the Nomad 2, like you were talking about, with Nomad 1 being a relatively good pick for Chicony. We probably see the Nomad 2 come out of Enri and potentially tiebreaker after that, but no, Chicony going to be able to take it instead. The point on Nomad 3 doing so much to help him out at the end of this match, and having first pick as well, actually playing a decisive role in the win in this match for Chicony. DT2, Nomad 3, DT3, back-to-back-to-back wins to close this one out. Really solid stuff from him, and honestly as well, really, really good play from Enri. You know, the first three picks on Hidden 3, Nomad 4, and Hidden 1 all going relatively well for him and going about as expected. I think just a little bit not as practiced maybe, or a little nervous, or just a couple of inconsistencies on the Nomad 3. If he wins that pick, there's a chance that he wins the match as well, and it's just a little, it was just too good a play from Chicony. It was just too good a play from Chicony on that map, and he's able to take it and advance into the next round of play in the quarterfinals, where he will be facing off against Emrek. So, good luck to him.
Yep, he gets to fight up against the Emrek train. Obviously, that's going to be a very tough ask for him, but I think definitely going to have his picks there. It's going to be really difficult, though. Meanwhile, Enri going to be moving down into the loser's bracket. And obviously, loser's bracket in a tournament like this is going to be a death pit. It's so many good players down there. You're going to have to be playing multiple matches in weekends. I don't think for the first weekend, but starting in semis, it's going to be 2 matches a weekend. And that is just going to be such a difficult time for some players. But obviously, Enri, with his wide range of skill sets, going to be very, very strong down in loser's bracket. But for now, I believe that is going to do it for this stream. There are still 3 more matches left today. You can look at Secretary San here. She's got the schedule for us. I'm pulling up the Twitter post here.
All right. And so we've just gotten word about an update to the schedules as well. So the schedules on Twitter are outdated as of now. Next matchup is going to be at 16 UTC with Suwagi versus MX 10001. That is Karcher. So Suwagi versus Karcher at 16 UTC, and then directly following that is the change to the schedule. White Cat versus Demonical was at 15 UTC, is now at 17 UTC, directly following Suwagi versus Karcher. And then later on in the day at 20 UTC, we've got Taquito versus Zuninator. So quite a lot of really good matchups coming up. I think all of these are going to be very, very fun to watch. So make sure you tune in for those starting once again at 16 UTC. That is 1 hour and 45 minutes from now. Be here for those matches. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in about 1 hour and 45 minutes for our next matchup. See you then.